Hey guys, Trent here coming at you with another video. I've been busy, I know it's been a while, but I'll show you a bunch of sales I made and go around the room, look at my toys and toy collection stuff and little updates here and there. Let's take a look. So if you're new to my channel, welcome in. My name is Trent. I'm a part-time reseller on eBay. I do it for fun and profit and take you along for the journey. So please hit that subscribe button for more great videos in the future. Yeah, let's get an update going and I'll show you some sales. Alright, another batch of sales. I had a Nerf lot. Somebody just wanted this rival blaster right here out of the lot, so I said I'd sell it to him for 12 bucks. Hopefully that'll work out. $12.87 total paid by the customer. Sold a pretty much complete in box vintage Nintendo game, Goal. Not the most popular title, not the most valuable title, but it's got everything, even the plastic wrap that goes around the game. So $28.24 total paid by the customer. This Nerf Laser Ops Pro Alpha Point blaster, $10.68 total paid by the customer. That's just an extra blaster I got in a bag one time with some Nerf stuff, so hopefully make a couple bucks on that. From my G.I. Joe lot, the vintage Star Wars Hoth Snowspeeder parts. There's a little broken tab right here, but it's got the windshield. $13.91 total paid by the customer. My spare Sky Striker parts, the 2 wings and 2 bombs for the Sky Striker, vintage G.I. Joe. $52.73 total paid by the customer. Vintage Masters of the Universe Stinkor Shield, $15.98 total paid by the customer. And then finally that Star Wars weapons lot. All those Star Wars weapons and accessories were in my vintage G.I. Joe lot. Put that on auction and got a few bids. Ended up selling for $115.83 total paid by the customer. Alright, got a really nice batch of sales here. The G.I. Joe stuff really started popping off. Sold the vintage G.I. Joe Snake Eyes file card. That one sold for $27.11 total paid by the customer. Then I sold, okay, this torpedo was in really bad shape. It seems like I'm having trouble getting the chest cavity open. So I just sold him for parts or repair. $12.98 total paid by the customer. Then we got Hawk with the mobile missile system right there, and there's Hawk and his file card. That one sold, and that was a good one. $76.03 total paid by the customer. That's a decent one. Then even better, the APC, you know, the rest of the parts came in, so we had a complete APC here, nice condition. And the box, that one sold, $128.09 total paid by the customer. Then I switched out there was a Beastman whip in the lot for some reason, and I switched it out with mine because I didn't realize my handle was broken on my Beastman whip. So I got the nicer whip on my Beastman there, and put this whip for sale since it was broken for cheaper, and it sold $10.69 total paid by the customer. Then finally, vintage hooded Cobra Commander file card sold for $12.78 total paid by the customer. Alright, got another batch of sales. Sold this dock. Some of my G.I. Joe stuff got knocked down, unfortunately. My cat got in here. And his heel, and Doc's heel ended up getting broken. So I pieced that one together. So sold it for cheaper, $13.78 total paid by the customer. Doc is not a very uncommon figure anyways, but that's kind of a shame. Here's a vintage Food Fighters little backpack. $7.60 total paid by the customer. That came in a G.I. Joe lot. Off the Mobat vintage G.I. Joe tank, the little gun. This thing's almost always missing on the Mobat tank, so it goes for decent money. And this one's broken, and even though it's broken, this part you don't really see, it's underneath, so it'll display nice still. So that piece right there, even though it's broken, $16.23 total paid by the customer. And the rest of the Star Wars stuff from the G.I. Joe lot, some Star Wars backpacks I didn't identify at the beginning. I sold the other Star Wars stuff already in a nice auction for over $100, but these backpacks went for $15.16 total paid by the customer. Then I sold those 2 jackets. One was the Cabbage Patch Kids vintage rain jacket that came in that kind of junky toy lot where I was trying to acquire some G.I. Joe items. That one sold for $22 total paid by the customer. And then I sold this vintage Hudson leather jacket. I bought this for myself just to check it out because it's basically the Terminator jacket. Size 48. But I thought I'd throw it up for sale. It's at the end of the day, it's really not my style. So 80 bucks, 84 and something with tax total paid by the customer for that. My room's kind of a mess. I'm working on the G.I. Joe Command Center and some other stuff, but I got this high bid auction win. This is a vintage Masters of the Universe Fright Fighter. All the pieces didn't come with it. There's a few of the wings I had acquired from other lots, but the majority of it came. I won that auction for $25, so I paid about 40 bucks with shipping, so that was a good high bid one. But the same auction, same auctioneer, I won the Serpentor, and it's incredible condition wise, but I did pay pretty close to 80 bucks when it was said and done, and it's missing one little fin. But the Serpentor itself is some of the utmost immaculate condition. The cape, his cape is so nice it looks like it's never even been used. So I'm gonna say that I scored because of the quality, but gotta be careful with high bid. But those are some pretty cool items I've acquired recently. Alright, got some more cool sales. Sold the G.I. Joe Flat Cannon Vintage 1982, I think, or 1983. Just missing the seat. That one sold for $14.15 total paid by the customer. Then we got some Castle Grayskull parts. Those sold for $14.04 total paid by the customer. Vintage Scarlet 1982 file card. $19.55 total paid by the customer. And then they sold Nerf long shot gun. $49.78 total paid by the customer. Here we have a 1982 G.I. Joe Cobra Officer. He's alright. He's got a little scuff on his face, and he's missing his Cobra symbol on the chest. That's the main thing. It gets rubbed off, the silver Cobra symbol. Otherwise, it's a great 1982 figure. I didn't have the 1982 Cobra Officer. He's complete with his weapon. I think I'm going to reassemble him anyways. Here's my 1983 Cobra Officer. You see that nice Cobra symbol on the chest. So once again, in case you don't know, the difference in 1982 and 1983 is in 1983 they introduced the swivel arm battle grip. So 1982s they call the straight arm because at the elbow it only bends up and down. There's no swivel. So I'm gonna reassemble him, and I'll throw him in my collection anyways, even though I would like to upgrade him. But until then, I'll go ahead and repair him. Alright, got him repaired. You see, when you put the new band in, it makes it to where the arms can stay up, but the swiveling, the swinging of the elbow is a little bit loose. And I'm really careful to put them on the stand because those feet will crack depending. Maybe the black plastic is not too bad, but yeah, it's a 1982 figure, so I am not... I don't know if there's any resistance in putting a weapon in the hand. I'm not going to do it, but there we go. Yeah, you got to be really, really careful with the 1982's thumbs to not break. All right, from my G.I. Joe toy lots that I've been collecting and selling out of, I was able to piece together. Yeah, I got a complete 1983 G.I. Joe Command Center. Has a few parts that are broken, and I got some extra double parts to sell. So turned out pretty good. Got everything including the flag with the decals on it. Got the little command desk here. Pretty cool. The only thing that's broken is let's see, this one is broken on the bottom that holds it in place, plus the bars are broken, so that is a replacement piece I need. And then This, wait, oh yeah, this wall right here, it's nice, it sits there fine, but yeah, the things that hold it in place are broken off, so even though it sits there, it's technically broken, but everything else is intact. So the complete 1983 G.I. Joe Command Center. Pretty cool stuff. And so now I've got all these parts. Oh, and a few extras too. That and this. So I've got all those extra Command Center parts. Maybe I'll do an auction lot on those, see if somebody wants them. All right, got more sales. Here's a vintage Chuck Norris Karate Commandos weapon. $8.56 total pay by the customer for that. I sold the spare parts for G.I. Joe mobile G.I. Joe headquarters, so that sold. And they bought one other thing, a couple small parts for another G.I. Joe, the tactical battle platform. I had a couple pieces for that. So all that together, $53 total pay by the customer. Then it's in one of the G.I. Joe lots, this vintage little plastic made in Hong Kong. I think it's a Tootsie toy, but I'm not sure. Little pistol right there. SPL 44 says on it. $7.57 total pay by the customer. And finally, I took the duplicate file cards that I had from my recent G.I. Joe lots, put those for sale in a lot. Got one bid. Total price paid by the customer, $42.99 for the file cards. All right, got some more sales. Vintage 1982 straight arm rock and roll. Got a busted thumb. Has his helmet. I fixed him. I put a new band. I rebanded him. Pretty decent rock and roll. Just needs to fix that thumb. $21.40 total paid by the customer. We got a vintage. I think it's Ideal is the brand. Robo Force accessory there from a toy lot. $8.15 total paid by the customer. Then I took a bunch of vintage little PVC figures, guts, and some other Soma little figures, army figures, and one little ninja. $8.15 to, oh no, I'm sorry, this was the $8.15 total pay by the customer. This was $7.49 total pay by the customer. All right, so update on my eBay and my collecting. Well, both of them I've been real busy and hadn't been doing a lot, but I think I already showed it, but I got, yeah, so for my vintage Masters of the Universe collection, the Fright Fighter, I got it mostly put together there. I'm missing some of the more hard to find expensive pieces though, the satellite dish and the gun that goes in the back, but after that, that's it. One of these guns I think I mentioned was broken in shipping, but it's fine. You glue it back, it's fine. Otherwise, it's a nice Fright Fighter. This is a more uncommon, pretty expensive Masters of the Universe vehicle. It's pretty neat. Got some cool action features. So look forward to, well, I'm glad I have it in the collection. Look forward to someday maybe I'll find pieces for it on Goodwill auction lots or something. I really don't want to go on eBay and buy the individual pieces. People try to get a lot of money for those, $30 plus for each, probably more like 40 or 50 per, because those are the hardest to find. Well, this was an uncommon vehicle anyways. It was later in the Masters of the Universe line. But that's it, the Fright Fighter. The parts of it can sell. I have some extra parts I'm trying to sell, so the parts of it can fetch some decent money, so make some money back there. And I'm one piece closer here to, well, a lot of pieces, because this piece takes a lot of pieces, to my completing a vintage Masters of the Universe collection. I've still got quite a bit of stuff to go, but I've got a pretty significant collection for Masters of the Universe vintage. So after this vehicle is complete, I mean, we'll say I have the vehicle, but it's not absolutely complete. The only other like retail release vehicle, there's one I didn't have called the Laser Bolt. It's actually not that uncommon, or it's not that expensive. I could just go on someday on eBay and buy it for $30 complete. We'll see. I've came across a few laser bolts, but I didn't feel like they were worth keeping. And then, of course, I'm still working on completing Eternia. What else? Some of the accessories for some of the figures, of course. And a few little odds and the more expensive, hard to find stuff when it comes to not vehicles but mounts, we'll call them. You know, like Battle Cat Panther. The ones I'm missing are the 3 dinosaurs. Those are the most expensive. The Binatops, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the Turbodactyl. Very expensive and hard to get the completed pieces for it. And then other than that, these Meteorbs, there's like 6 or 7 of them, I think. I'm only got 3, so you know, that's fun. That's fine though, because there's still something to collect. And so yeah, I'm working. At least I've got something to show for my Masters of the Universe vintage update. And then I'm working on G.I. Joe, of course, the Rattler and the Sky Striker. And then I did, like I think I already showed, I completed the 1983 headquarters right there. So pretty cool. And yeah, over here, Serpentor is a new one, and then just working on little odds and ends if I can find them. And then I stowed away for now the in there the Rolling Thunder. I do have some more pieces for that. I might actually, let me get that out and see where we're at with it. All right, for the Rolling Thunder, I had won an auction with one of these missiles and some of the yellow missiles and one of these plastic covers that I was missing, or it had actually all 4 of the covers. And actually those covers are nicer. They have the decals on them, even though I think they're upside down, but still. So I replaced all those covers on mine, and now I have the complete missiles with all the little cluster bombs inside. And so from that auction that I won, this is what I have left over, a spare missile. So a complete missile, and then 1, 2, 3, yeah, enough to make enough cluster bombs for 1.5 total rockets. So I'll be throwing those back up as a lot for sale. So pretty neat.